How you doing? This is John, and welcome to John's Long Box. This is Batman 417, 10 Nights of the Beast. This is part one of a 4-issue series within a series. Look at this. This is Jim Starlin, Jim Aparo, and Mike DiCarlo. What a classic team. But this cover is by Zeck, Mike Zeck. Mike Zeck, I first started to notice him when he did The Punisher. But he did so many different comics, both for Marvel and DC and others. But he's in the news right now because his illustration of Spider-Man in the black costume that just sold for like $3.3 million, something like that, just set records. So yeah, he's a famous guy. Look at this. I love the sense of vertigo. I say this every time, and maybe I'm driving people crazy, but you don't see comics like this anymore. Just look at that cityscape, Batman, the perspective. You can see like the vanishing point over here, and Batman, the motion. I love that. I just love it, and I love the less is more Batman over here. You don't have that much details. Just so good. It's just like perfect penciling, inking, and coloring, all making that. I just love this. I just love this. My friend. Is for my friend Mark, who wants me to do more Batman. Look at that splash page. It's kind of like charming, to see this now. Like, it's kind of like simple compared to like, there's like the old comics with the super detailed and modern comics today, which is like the low quality art. This is just like right in the middle of like, there's enough details that it gets the story done. But without being overly detailed. But I'm going ahead. Let's look at the credits. Jim Starlin. If you follow my channel, you know I love Jim Starlin. Jim Starlin, for me, you first started noticing him. He did like all the cosmic stuff over in Marvel in the early '70s. So he created Thanos, Drax the Destroyer, and he just really shined when he did all of his cosmic stories. With the Infinity Stones, and he took over Adam Warlock and Captain Marvel, and just made characters that were like Z grade into just top quality comics that now the movie going audiences are starting to see now. Just a classic guy. And he also does art. Believe it or not, he was one of the co-creators of Shang-Chi, which surprised me when I opened up the comic. I don't know why I had it in my head that it was Paul Gulacy, but Paul Gulacy did the later artwork for Shang-Chi, but I'm talking about Batman. So here we go. Jim Aparo. He is my Batman artist. When I close my eyes and I daydream about Batman, it is drawn by Jim Aparo because, I said this line over and over again. We all remember our first car, we all remember our first love, and we all remember our first Batman artist, and then the Brits always say we all remember our doctor. Well, Jim Aparo is my Batman artist. I just can't separate this style from my memories. It's just so good. Mike DiCarlo, inker. I think he's DC's like, I don't know what, just epitome of DC inking. He did so much good stuff. Just quality inker. Augustin Moss letterer, Adrian Roy, one of my favorite colorists, and Denny O'Neil. I always talk about Denny O'Neil to the point where I'm getting sick of talking about him. But I actually just heard somebody talking about him on an interview, and they said that Dennis O'Neil was the last editor to just take it seriously and realize that he was the custodian of a character. He was Batman's custodian for like 20 years. He knew that he had to preserve the character and make the character and keep the character there for his grandchildren's generation to enjoy and for people to work on the character and make money. He took it very seriously. I think a lot of creators today, they don't realize the awesome responsibility that they have for these 80-year-old, 90-year-old characters, and Dennis O'Neil really took it. And people say when Dennis O'Neil died, it was the end of comic books, and now we're just watching the body decay. That's a little extreme, but I understand what he's talking about. So here we have, something's being brought up on shore, and it's going astray, and the people smuggling in the cargo got hijacked. And here we have a second splash page. Andrei Yevtushenko. He's a like a glasnost Russian politician giving information to America that trouble is on the way. If you remember Mikhail Gorbachev, when he became the premier of Russia, we had Glasnost. It was like the softening of relations, and the United States and the Soviet Union started to increase diplomacy and make everything friendly. It was the end of the Cold War. Things were getting friendlier. And what the plot of this comic is that some old school KGB hardasses are they're smuggling in the Beast, who's just like a kind of like a Captain America type. He's just like chemically enhanced ultimate assassin. And the FBI calls him the KGBeast, and this is his first appearance. And the KGBeast is coming in here to assassinate 9 crucial scientists who work on the SDI program. So, and he's being helped by these Russian terrorists. I mean, these Muslim terrorists. So this is the ultimate 80s Reagan-era comic. You got Batman working with the FBI, the Gotham Police, and the State Department, kind of teaming up to take out a rogue KGB assassin who's being aided by Muslim terrorists. Awesome. Awesome stuff. Let's go USA. You can't get any better than this. I'm going to take a sip of 6-month-old iced tea. Still good. 6-month-old iced tea. Arizona iced tea. I buy it by the gallon. I forgot this was in storage, in my storage closet, and I finally put it in the fridge. So here we go. So they're filling Batman, they're looking at the crime scene, and there's the KGBeast. He's not besides being the master of martial arts, his strength is cybernetically enhanced, and as strong as any 4 healthy men, and able to literally tear a person in 2 with his bare hands. Look at that. And I love this Jim Aparo artwork. It's just like, it's like this perfect, bridge between old school art and new school art. And new school, I'm talking like 90s and 20 and early of this millennium. But I'm considering the past 5 years of Marvel and DC. That's its own new thing. I'll call that the modern era. So this is just like just like a transition period. I just think it's great. And here he is he's being helped by Anwar Sadat, because he made it clear the Hammer's goals of the government is not parallel. So whatever. He's being helped by like this Muslim faction. So the Muslims and old school KGB Soviets, communists are helping the KGB kill government scientists that are making the Star Wars program, the SDI, Strategic Defense Initiative. And this guy was killed in his sleep, one of the scientists. So and they're making the deaths look like accidents. So he did something to him, gave him some sort of poison that simulated a heart attack. And then the second scientist, this is kind of gruesome, they put a wire at neck level across the highway. That's the KGBeast there, and nobody would suspect a guy in the middle of the day wearing a top hat and a fedora and a trench coat, right, with spooky gloves. And this scientist liked to ride his motorcycle and beheaded by the wire. And so they say we got to be on the lookout. So here's the USA team. We got Agent McDonald, Agent Leonard, Agent Perry, Agent Stout, Agent Greeley. Glad to meet you. And they don't like working with the Batman. We work with a vigilante, whatever. And then of course there's Jim Gordon's wearing a wire that Batman's listening to. Because remember, Jim Gordon is like basically Batman's sidekick, if you ask me. And there we have this is Jim Aparo's just Batman. There's a great story about Jim Aparo that they had what was the name of the convention? I forget the convention it was. But Chuck Dixon and Doug Mensch and Alan Grant and all the guys that were doing Batman, long-term Batman team in the 80s, they all went to the convention, and Jim Aparo was going, and he was retiring. And they were having what they call the Inkpot Awards. And Jim Aparo's name wasn't on the list for recipients of the Inkpot Awards. So Chuck Dixon and all those guys, they said, let's go to the bar and have some drinks. saying goodbye to basically the elder statesman, handing the reins to the young whippersnappers. So he went down to the bar, and they were drinking and having fun. And I think it was Dennis O'Neill came down at the end of the night, and it was just like, Jim, and he had an Inkpot Award. He goes, this was all set up. We were giving you a Lifetime Achievement Award. It was supposed to be a surprise, and you're down here drinking with the boys. And Jim Aparo was like, drinking with the boys, this is all I ever wanted. This is it, He goes, but he was touched and moved, and they said they all bought him a round of drinks and like saluted him, and he said it was one of his greatest nights of his life. He honestly didn't think that he was getting an award. He was that humble of a guy. It never entered his mind that he was getting an award or anything like that. So he didn't mean to hurt anybody's feelings, but he ended up feeling really bad that he went to the convention and then didn't go to the award that was being held for in his honor. But and then Chuck Dixon said that I'm just look at this fight. Look at that cheesy costume. Looks like a Mucho Libre beating up people. And Batman shows up. This is the third scientist. He shows up as the KGBeast is throwing him off the ledge. Batman jumps. He has to let go and save him. And so now Batman doesn't have a rope or anything like that. He's just plunging to his death. So what happens? Convenient flagpole that could withstand the weight of two descending people. He flips up, jumps around, lands on a clothesline. Oh, no, actually, that's not a clothesline. I take it back. These are tension wires. In Manhattan, a lot of you will see them and your brain won't register them. But what they are is they're tension wires, and they will hold up street poles and stuff like that. Because I know Manhattan cannot have above ground power wires anymore. All the power and telephone wires are underground because there was a blizzard. I forget when, in the 40s or the 30s. And it just pulled down all these wires, all the snow, and electrocuted people left and right. So all the wires have to be underground. But you do see wires, and they're just tension wires that are holding up structures. So this, yes, I take it back. Not only could this potentially support Batman, but this should just chop his fingers off. Like, but that's Batman. Oh, if that snapped, then, geez, that was faulty. The guy who installed that did a crummy job. And they swing back, fall down, and look at this effort that he's going through. I love this era of Batman. He's not superhuman. He's not, Mr. Bat God or whatever. That comes later with Grant Morrison. But he's tumbling. Just look, he's getting beat up. Look at this effort to save this poor guy, and he finally lands on the car. And look at Batman. Jason, you all right? No, Jason, he's dead. He was dead already because I'm gonna go back. He was killed right there. That broke his neck. And look at all this effort. Batman didn't know he was dead. He's not all seeing. He's not all. Let's count this, because now I got myself curious. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4 pages of Batman trying to save this guy who's already dead. Just awesome. I remember reading that, and I was like, oh man, I felt bad. And here he is, just silent fury, just fuming. And then they're up the tree. You asked me to come along. I just love that. And here's Robin going to say something. I guess even Robin's feeling the tension, being quiet. And they're working together. This guy's like, I don't like working with vigilantes and blah, 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 but I guess we're going to work it. So they find out this guy's the Hammer. He's like the head of this Muslim terrorist organization that's aiding the KGBeast. So there you go. Oh, this was cool. This was Jim Starlin, Bernie Wrightson, and Dan Green. Dan Green was made famous as the inker on the X-Men. Bernie Wrightson was made famous by Bernie Wrightson. Just a great artist who usually did horror stuff. I came to know him in the original Swamp Thing run with Len Wein back in the 70s. Oh, what a great artist. And Jim Starlin. Geez, I'm talking about Jim Starlin right now. So now, here's the fourth scientist. And, looking like a DJ over here. I picked your scratch mix. Isotope. Yeah, there's my DJ impersonation. And he is electrocuted by the janitor. So 4 of the 9 scientists are already dead. And we got to figure out this. And then here's the informant talking to the KGBeast, who, of course, standing underneath the light, wearing a fedora, the luchador mask, and everything like that. No, nobody will ever see him. But it's Gotham City. Who knows? People probably dress like that all the time in Gotham City. So now Batman's grim determination. I just love this comic. This was 4 issues. Space, the Final Frontier, Next Generation. That's the Legion of Superheroes. That's good. I keep forgetting. I keep promising I'm going to bring out Legion of Superheroes. And so far, I only did 1 issue. Okay, what is this? Is this a video game? I don't know what this is. Okay, I think it's a bunch of video games. And I was just about to tell another story about Jim Aparo and Chuck Dixon, and then I got distracted because I'm a scatterbrain. So we'll finish this up with Chuck Dixon was saying that when you got hired back then, and you got hired for a comic, you was assumed to be on that comic until further notice. So you got hired, you're the Batman writer for the foreseeable future. And one of the things that you had to do is you wrote 13 issues a year instead of 12. And then one of those issues just had to be a standalone issue. And what they did is they called it an inventory issue. And they put it on the side in case something happened. In case there was an unforeseen circumstance and they couldn't publish an issue, they would break that inventory issue out and then just insert it in so that the writing team could catch up. Maybe the artist was too slow. Maybe the writer's wife had a baby suddenly too early or something like that. Whatever the circumstances. So that was regular practice. And Jim Starlin said that he knows personally of about 13 or 14 Jim Aparo unpublished standalone inventory issues that have never seen the light of day. Oh my God, I would love to see all that stuff. Brand new Chuck Dixon, Jim Aparo Batman stories, self-contained, so you don't need to read any other comics. All, 1 issue, 1 and done. Oh my God, publish that DC. That'll. Oh man, what are you doing, guys? Get to work. There's money just sitting in a drawer someplace. But I don't know. I would love that. They should just do that. Like once they date it out and they can't fit in current continuity, they can't help. That would just be good. Like inventory or a series every month. Just publish a dated inventory issue. That would be great. Or once a year, just make like a little trade paperback of them. Okay, I'm starting to ramble, so I'll stop now. But thank you. This was Batman 417, 10 Nights of the Beast, first appearance of the KGBeast, ultimate Reagan era comic book. So much fun. All right? They don't make any stuff like this anymore. All right, see you around. Thanks a lot, and I appreciate that you took time out of your busy day to watch my videos. Thanks a lot. I'm trying to be more energetic. Let me know if it works. Okay, thanks a lot. Bye bye.